Lovely viewers, gather around because today's story is so heart-melting, so adorable, and so unbelievably wholesome that you might just find yourself smiling from ear to ear before we even get halfway through. Thank you for tuning in, for always showing love, and for being the warm community that makes stories like this feel even more magical. Now settle in, relax, and let's dive into one of the cutest celebrity moments to hit the spotlight in a long time. Lee Min-ho spotted grocery shopping with his twins. Yes, you heard that right. The king of K-drama himself, the man whose every red carpet appearance creates headlines, was seen in the most unexpected, everyday situation, pushing a shopping cart with his adorable little twins seated right inside, looking like the happiest pair in the entire store. And lovely viewers, the sight was so precious that fans who caught a glimpse said they felt their hearts melt instantly. It all began early in the morning when people at a quiet neighborhood supermarket noticed a tall, familiar figure walking through the automatic doors wearing a simple hoodie, cap, and mask. At first, no one was completely sure if it was him. But then they saw the two tiny kids beside him, one holding his hand, the other being lifted carefully into the cart, and that's when whispers began spreading like wildfire. Lee Min-ho, with twins, grocery shopping, and lovely viewers. If the idea alone sounds adorable, the real moment was even sweeter. Min-ho, who is known for his calm charisma and gentle personality, looked completely in his element. No bodyguards, no assistants, no dramatic celebrity aura. Just a loving dad with his two little ones, trying to get through a grocery list like any other parent. Witnesses said the twins were around toddler age, small enough to sit in the cart but big enough to point at everything they wanted. One fan described them as mini versions of both Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo, with the same expressive eyes, soft round cheeks, and giggles that could brighten anyone's day. From the moment they entered the store, the twins were already having the time of their lives. One was pointing excitedly at a colorful cereal box, while the other kept waving at people walking by. And Min-ho, he looked like the proudest dad ever, smiling behind his mask, shaking his head with playful helplessness and gently reminding them, "Only one item each, okay? But if you think that's cute, just wait." Because the interactions only got sweeter. At one point, one of the twins picked up a bag of snacks almost bigger than their tiny body. Min-ho laughed quietly, lifted the bag from their hands and told them, "You can't even carry this, sweetheart." Instead of crying, the little ones simply crossed their arms and pouted in the most dramatic toddler fashion imaginable. Min-ho, being the soft-hearted dad he clearly is, crouched down, kissed their forehead and said, "Okay, maybe next time." Viewers, can you imagine? Lee Min-ho, global superstar, heartthrob, fashion icon, squatting in a grocery aisle, negotiating with a toddler over snacks. Fans said they nearly fainted from the sweetness. Meanwhile, the other twin had decided that the fruit section was the most entertaining place in the entire store. They kept reaching out to touch apples, oranges, grapes, anything within reach. Min-ho gently held their tiny hand and explained, "We don't squeeze everything we see," in that soft dad voice that could make anyone melt. He carefully picked out the freshest fruits, occasionally letting the twins smell them. When he handed them a banana, they giggled so loudly that people around them had to stifle their laughter. And when Min-ho handed them a strawberry, their eyes widened in pure wonder, as if the world had just presented them with treasure. Lovely viewers, it gets even better. A fan standing in the dairy section reported seeing Min-ho crouching in front of the twins while choosing yogurt. He held a small pack up and asked, "Which flavor do you want?" The twins pointed in two different directions at once. Min-ho just stared at them for a moment, sighed dramatically like a tired dad in a sitcom and muttered, "You two are going to be the end of me." But he still bought both flavors. And then came the moment that made everyone in the store collectively gasp. Min-ho lifted both twins, one on each side, and placed them together in the cart seat. Viewers, if you've ever wondered what pure, overflowing fatherly love looks like, it was this. The twins immediately leaned against each other, giggling, while Min-ho tucked their jackets properly and kissed the tops of their heads. One witness said, "He looked like the happiest dad in the world. He didn't rush. He didn't hide. He just looked proud." As they continued shopping, Min-ho read labels, double-checked ingredients, and pushed the cart slowly while talking to the kids. At one point, one of the twins got sleepy and rubbed their eyes. Without hesitation, Min-ho took off his own hoodie, folded it carefully, and placed it behind the child like a pillow so they could rest comfortably. Lovely viewers, imagine seeing Lee Min-ho, top star adored globally, wrapping his toddler in his hoodie like a protective shield. One fan actually teared up watching it. When they reached the snacks aisle again, the twins pointed at a pack of cookies with such determination that Min-ho couldn't help laughing. He put one pack into the cart and told them, "Only one, okay? Mommy will scold us if we bring too many." The twins nodded with exaggerated seriousness, as if they understood exactly what he meant. By checkout time, the cart had turned into a parade of toddler favorites. Fruits, yogurt, tiny rice crackers, juice pouches, and one huge pack of baby wipes. Min-ho placed everything on the conveyor belt while keeping one hand on the cart at all times, making sure the twins didn't stand up or lean too far out. The cashier reportedly smiled at him the entire time, clearly charmed by this rare domestic moment. Before leaving, Min-ho adjusted the twins' jackets, zipped them up fully, and placed a tiny beanie on each of their heads. The twins hugged him from both sides, and Min-ho responded by kissing both their foreheads at once, a moment so adorable that people near the exit almost screamed internally. Once outside, he carried them to the car, one in each arm, and buckled them into their seats with the same gentle care you'd expect from the most loving father. Before closing the door, he leaned in, brushed their hair softly, and whispered something that made both twins break into giggles. And lovely viewers, that right there is the part that fans cannot stop talking about. Because behind the fame, behind the glamour, behind the global spotlight, what we saw today was pure, genuine fatherhood. No pretense, no formality, just a man doing groceries with his children, being playful, responsible, patient, loving, and incredibly present. This rare outing gave fans a glimpse of a different side of Lee Min-ho. Not the actor, not the superstar, not the fashion icon, but the dad, the man who ties jackets, negotiates snack choices, wipes messy hands, kisses tiny foreheads, and juggles groceries with a smile. And that's why the world is melting over this moment. Lovely viewers, imagine for a moment how those twins must feel, growing up with a father who, despite his busy schedule and immense fame, still takes the time to walk down aisles, pick out fruits, and share simple moments with them. That is love. So there he was, still in that same aisle, holding one twin in his arm while the other waddled confidently beside him, clutching a pack of cookies like it was the most precious treasure on earth. And viewers, you should have seen the way Min-ho looked at them, like every tiny thing they did was magic. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't distracted. He was fully present, smiling, nodding, talking to them as if the grocery store was their own little world. One fan who stood nearby couldn't even breathe properly. She later shared that when the twins pointed excitedly at a colorful shelf of fruit snacks, Min-ho actually crouched down to their level and said, "Should we choose together?" Can you imagine that? A global superstar, a mega celebrity, just kneeling in the middle of a store, letting his kids decide between mango and strawberry snacks. And guess what? They chose both. And did Min-ho say no? Absolutely not. He just laughed and tossed both boxes into the cart like it was the most normal thing ever. At that moment, more shoppers started recognizing him, not because he was trying to stand out, but because he was doing something so rare for someone of his status. Being completely ordinary in the most extraordinary way. Some fans whispered, others gasped quietly, but no one wanted to interrupt. It was like everyone had collectively agreed that this was a sacred moment, a dad and his kids just living real life. Then came one of the cutest scenes ever. One of the twins spotted a bunch of bananas and reached out, trying to grab them, but they were too high. Before the little one could even make a frustrated sound, Min-ho lifted him gently, helping those tiny hands wrap around the fruit. The baby giggled, the other twin clapped, and Min-ho laughed softly as he placed the bananas in the cart. Viewers, can you feel your heart melting already? But wait, here's where things got even more adorable. The twins suddenly discovered the shopping cart itself. One climbed in and sat proudly in the front seat while the other insisted on pushing from behind. And instead of saying no, Minho actually guided those tiny hands, letting the little one help steer the cart. Imagine a superstar walking down the aisle with a toddler pushing the cart like a mini bodyguard. People watching were trying so hard not to scream. And then, out of nowhere, the twins got fascinated with the vegetable section. One pointed at a cabbage like it was a magical creature, and the other kept tapping a bell pepper. Minho explained gently what each vegetable was, as if he was teaching them about the universe. One shopper said she overheard him whispering, "These help us grow strong." Tell me that's not the cutest parenting moment ever. But here's the part that shocked everyone. When they reached the checkout line, the cashier, clearly flustered but smiling, joked, "Looks like Daddy's got his hands full." Minho grinned and replied, "It's the best kind of full." And the entire line behind him just melted. No cameras, no entourage. Just a man and the two little lives that meant everything to him. As he paid, the twins got their own tiny stickers from the cashier. One smiley face and one star. And viewers, you won't believe this. They immediately tried to stick the stickers on their dad's shirt. And Minho didn't stop them. He let them decorate him like it was an honor. He walked out of that store wearing stickers like badges of love. Once outside, as the cool air hit them, one twin stretched their arms toward Minho, clearly wanting to be carried. Without hesitation, he scooped the little one up, balancing grocery bags in the other hand while the second twin clung to his leg. It was chaos. Beautiful, hilarious chaos. And the sight of him trying to manage both groceries and kids had everyone outside giggling softly, admiring just how effortlessly he embraced fatherhood. Fans said that as he walked toward the car, he leaned down and kissed the top of one twin's head. No paparazzi pose, no show, just real affection. The kind of love that didn't need an audience but accidentally captured everyone watching. And the most emotional part, before placing them in their car seats, he paused, brushing their hair gently out of their faces, looking at them like they were his entire universe. One fan filming from afar swore she saw his eyes soften with a kind of tenderness you can't fake. Not for a camera, not for publicity, but from pure, genuine love. Lovely viewers, imagine this. Lee Min-ho, the global icon, the heartthrob, the superstar, being just a dad in a parking lot, whispering to his twins, laughing with them, listening to them, loving them. It was raw. It was real. It was unforgettable. And just when everyone thought the moment was over, Min-ho opened the back door, placed the last grocery bag inside, and before climbing into the car, he turned around, gave a tiny polite bow to the people who had quietly observed, and thanked them for giving his family space. As the car pulled out of the parking lot, a few fans who were watching from a respectful distance noticed something incredibly sweet. In the back seat, through the window, one of the twins was waving a tiny hand, like a little royal farewell, while the other was munching happily on one of the snacks Min-ho had just bought. And Min-ho, he glanced back at them with that soft, dad-like smile that could melt steel. It was the kind of moment that told everyone, this wasn't an outing, this was a memory. A short while later, witnesses said the car parked near a quiet little park. Not a fancy celebrity hangout, not a private location, just a peaceful neighborhood park with trees, benches, and a small playground. Min-ho opened the back doors, unbuckled the twins from their seats, and gently lifted them out. And here's the cutest part. Both twins immediately grabbed onto his pants, one on each side, as if they were his tiny bodyguards escorting him into the park. And viewers, you're going to scream at this. Min-ho didn't rush them. He walked at their tiny pace, step by tiny step, holding their hands, allowing them to explore the world with those curious little eyes. One stumbled a bit, and Min-ho instantly knelt, checking if they were okay, brushing their hair, and whispering something that made the toddler giggle again. A fan sitting on a bench recognized him, but instead of approaching, she just watched quietly. Later, she shared that Min-ho wasn't glued to his phone, wasn't distracted, wasn't acting like a celebrity. He was fully engaged, pointing at birds, leaves, and flowers. He even picked up a tiny fallen leaf and placed it gently in one twin's hand, saying something that made the baby tilt their head in fascination. Imagine that. Lee Min-ho teaching nature lessons in a park like a soft, gentle dad. Then came the moment that had everyone clutching their hearts. Near the playground was one of those tiny spring animal rides, the kind you sit on and bounce back and forth. One of the twins walked toward it with fascination, touching it cautiously. Minho lifted them up, placed them carefully on the little ride, and stood right beside them, holding their waist to keep them steady. The baby started bouncing, laughing uncontrollably, and Minho laughed too. This big, open, joyful laugh that no drama or movie could ever recreate. And what about the second twin? Oh, that little one wanted in too. So Minho gently lifted the other baby onto a second ride and positioned himself between them, one hand on each child, making sure they were safe. Double bounce, double laughter, double joy. The scene looked like something straight out of a drama, but it wasn't scripted. It was real life. After a few minutes, the bouncing turned into exploring. The twins toddled toward the grassy area, fascinated by the way the wind made the grass move. They plopped down right there on the ground, and guess what Minho did? He sat down with them. Yes, right there on the grass in his clean clothes, not caring at all. He opened one of the grocery bags and pulled out the fruit he'd bought earlier. He peeled a banana, broke it into tiny pieces, and fed them gently, one by one. And the twins, they munched happily, leaning against him as if he was the safest place in the world.